Hello guys and welcome. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. This is the first time that I'm doing this, but what we're going to be doing is Madman Rant. And in case you can't tell already, I, the Madman, rant. So today's rant is going to be about the government, and in general their secret plan, or at least what I think that their secret plan is. Now, don't get me wrong, a disclaimer at the beginning of the video, I have very little facts to substantiate this, and while it may be true, it's very unlikely that it is. So I just want to get that out there right away, that this is not absolute fact. But before we even get to this rant, there is something that we need to point out about CNN. So in case you guys don't know, CNN made an article about Elon Musk and Tesla, and they claimed, CNN claimed that Tesla and Elon Musk had not delivered their ventilators that they promised to the hospitals, and that they hadn't delivered those. And then Elon Musk went on to Twitter and he responded with the receipts from the hospitals. And so CNN then didn't even retract their article. At least the last time that I checked, they hadn't retracted it. That could have changed because I haven't checked in a very long time. But the last time I checked, they had not retracted their article, and they had even doubled down on it. So, CNN spreading some fake news. We're just going to be playing some Delirium League Path of Exile while we're going at this. Nothing too crazy. But so what I wanted to talk about, the conspiracy theory, right? Well, you see, I'm pretty sure that the plan of the government at the current moment is to turn our country communist. Now, I don't know why I would ever think that, because that doesn't make any sense. But I'm pretty sure that that's what's happening. And that before you know it, we will be a communist country. So, I think I should explain myself because, that's a pretty big claim to make, especially unsubstantiated. So, my thought process on this was that, we have not had very heavy regulation on China until recently, where Trump was like, we need to start regulating China because we're not getting fair deals here, and I completely agree with that. But we hadn't been regulating China. We had actually, I'd say, been kind of laying down to their claims, doing whatever they want, but then again, I haven't been up in the news too much lately. Although I'm pretty sure that that's what's been going on with China. Not 100% sure, so, take it with a grain of salt. But if that is indeed what is happening with China, I mean, it's pretty diabolical that they're trying to get us communist. But let's go to even more proof, because, that's not very much proof, just the China thing. So here is even more proof. Hold on. Okay. So the proof is this. China, or not China, our government has been trying to, or at least not the entire government, but a lot of the things that they've been trying to get passed lately have been gun laws, to regulate and stop guns. Well, not necessarily stop them, but get rid of the AR-15s on the market, which aren't even the deadliest gun. Shotguns are pretty high up there, I'd say. And so, let's look at this. Why are they limiting the Second Amendment? Well, they say it's to protect us, but it's probably not. At least that's my opinion. But let's look at what the Second Amendment even does, what it's for. Well, one of the main uses, I'd say, is to protect against a tyrannical government. And I believe most people can agree that communist government is a tyrannical government, at least most of us here in America. And so, of course, if it's a tyrannical government, they'd want to limit our Second Amendment rights, that way that we would have less of a chance to fight back, Or at least, not less of a chance to fight back, but less of a chance to win, should we fight back. Now, they've already gotten most of the mainstream media, like the alphabet soup of news, they've got that basically under their belt already. That would be CNN, Fox, MSNBC, whatever that is, I don't remember. All the different alphabet letters. Most of those are already, they've already got those on their side. So that's a lost cause. And that's kind of unfortunate. And so the other thing that they've been trying to do is, that political agenda stuff, or not political agenda, or political correctness, that's what I mean. So they're trying to be politically correct, or make us, as the people that they are ruling, be more politically correct, which I do not think is right. But then again, you don't need to know my opinion on that. I can't wear that. Anyway, so they're trying to make everybody have to be politically correct, and this is weighing very heavily if you just follow me for a moment, on our freedom of speech, because I think that that's pretty obvious. I don't know why I said if you just follow me for a minute, because I feel like that's a fair statement to make. And it's becoming more and more mainstream, so the media is definitely pushing it, and I think that that's become obvious. And so, I actually don't know where I was going with this. But that's okay, it's just a rant. And now that I think about it, that would be better than that. But yeah. Lag. So, with all that said, they are trying to limit us, and I feel like that is pretty obvious. At least if you just look at it right off the bat, that they are trying to limit our Second Amendment rights and limit our First Amendment rights. And that is 100% not good. And that is a push towards communism. Whether or not that's their end goal, it is moving us there. And then you have, like, Bernie Sanders, he ran for president, or he ran to get nominated for president. I don't think he made it. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't kept up to date because I can't vote, so I honestly don't care. I'm pretty sure that Trump's going to win either way, but, that's just my opinion. So Bernie, he was a socialist Democrat. And socialism weighs towards the sides of communism. And he actually was running, well, I don't know if he ran as a socialist Democrat, but I know that he is one. So the fact that he has been able to take that title and then run I think it's a little bit concerning. Now, I'm not going to say that there's anything wrong with having somebody who's a socialist Democrat run for nomination. I feel like it shouldn't matter what political affiliation you are. It should matter your policies. And so that's just going to be my take on this. But I do think that it's pretty interesting that we had him go, and all these things are happening relatively close to one another, And now another thing. Now, I would assume that you would agree that a communist government would want to limit the holidays to what they want. Definitely limiting to what they believe is right. I feel like that's an obvious thing that's going to happen. And if you want to see an example of this in modern day, all you have to do is oh wait, hold on. I just remembered. Okay, so all you have to do is take a look at the I think it was National Men's Day. It may have been a year ago. I'm not sure. And if you were paying attention during that time, the women went to protest it. I don't know why. It wasn't all women. It was probably just some crazy feminists. And even then, use that term lightly. They're extreme leftists. They might not even be leftists, but they're definitely extreme, whatever side they're on. And I do not think that they should be taken seriously. And we should definitely not use them to discount the entire Democratic Party or the entire feminist movement or anything like that. I'm going to die here. Anyway, so they went and they protested that, and they basically got it shut down. And it wasn't even a big thing or anything. It was just like a meeting, well, I've never been to an ANA meeting, but from the footage that I saw, that's what it looked like approximately. And they went and they shut that down, which is absolutely crazy. And the fact that, and the media, I don't know if they covered it, but it definitely didn't get as much attention as it deserved, because that should have been everywhere. The fact that that happened and stuff, that's big news that the feminist movement did that, and I am stacking these very wrong. Anyway, but yeah, it's a huge thing that happened and nobody covered it. And to limit one race, which the men arguably, now I'm not saying this to put down any women, because there are definitely some very strong women out there, much stronger than me, and what women go through every day, well, some of them at least, is definitely not something that I want to go through, like the fear and everything that comes along with it and stuff. I do not want to have that. But men are typically just generally stronger than women. And so to reduce one, especially the stronger side of a population, to anything really, just to make them hurt at all, is a pretty good plot for taking over the country. Of course, the government doesn't need much help from that, but it's one good way to start. And in case you didn't know, male suicide rate is higher than female. Men have, typically speaking, harder jobs, and by that I mean they have a higher death rate in the workplace. So I guess not harder, but more. Oh well, it doesn't matter. You get the idea. And then they are being targeted in the media. You've got toxic masculinity going out and all this other things, and the mainstream media is picking it up and carrying it. And it's because of that it's become such a big topic. I wouldn't even say that it would be a big topic if it wasn't for the media. If the media were leaving it alone like they are the Earn It Act, nobody would know about it. And not many people know about the Earn It Act, as far as I can tell. And the mainstream media, like I said in my previous video, is not covering that, and that's absolutely insane, the fact that is getting passed by, especially if you just pay attention to what is being covered versus what is not. I'm sure that you will see that there is definitely a narrative that is being pushed here, and people are letting that happen. I do say that people are calling it out, but I don't think that enough people are calling it out for it to really be a huge thing. Also, while I'm on this topic, I might mention that the reason why Elon Musk, or CNN called out Elon Musk, I feel like, I know I don't have any proof of this, but Elon Musk has been he doesn't really like the mainstream media. He's been vocal about that, at least from what I've heard. Now, I don't have his confirmation from that, but that's just from what I've heard. And so they basically got salty and wanted to take a jab at him. Not to mention, they used like an article or whatever from almost a month ago, not exactly a month ago. And I'm pretty sure that you're not supposed to use articles that old, especially when you're a mainstream news outlet that like hundreds of people read, probably hundreds of thousands, I'd say. So it's just, I think that's crazy. And so the push towards communism continues, and of course, we could be going the other way. I would definitely agree that neither side of the spectrum, the extremes, is good. We definitely want to stay in the middle. So, but it's just a matter of where we go with this. Can I please pick that up? Thank you. And I'm not sure what's going to happen. I am hitting trees. Oh, I need that. Okay, so anyway. Sorry, I got a little bit distracted. But that's happening, and it just seems like, it just keeps happening. And if you look at some of our influencers, which this is covered in the Out of Shadows documentary, and if you haven't watched it, I really suggest that you watch it. It's a very good documentary, and it is what inspired me to make this channel. And I will link to it in the description. But they mentioned that Katy Perry, she used to be a gospel singer, but now if you look at her, she has music videos that portray her in hell and doing other things. And when she was a gospel singer, she was I guess I'd say a little bit popular, but not nearly as popular as she is now that she's switched. And that's a problem, because I definitely think that the mainstream media had something to do with that. Of course, I have no proof of this, but it is my opinion that they had something to do with that, and that is they are controlling what she does and says, and she has a very large following. I'm not sure if she has. It's probably like 100 million. I saw the number, I just don't remember it. But it's a very large number of followers, and that's just on Twitter. I'm not sure if she uses any other medium. I don't follow her, and I'm sure that you can see obvious reasons why. And like I said, it's my opinion that the mainstream media has been pushing that, and of course, it's also my opinion that this is probably not, and of course I shouldn't have said that. That was a bad word choice. But it is also my opinion that the government controls the media. And if you look at the ties, and once again, this is from the Out of Shadows documentary, but if you look at like the ties from the government to the mainstream media and stuff, you will see lots of them. And that's unsettling, to say the least. That you can track a large number of politicians back to the media, almost all of them. And there's only 6 people, really, six corporations that control almost all the entertainment that you get from Hollywood, etc. And, this brings me to the point that I actually wanted to talk about today, my proof. And that is, look at the content that kids, young kids are consuming, and the content that people growing up see, such as Avengers and stuff like that. So the young kids, they see Ariel, Lions King, Monsters Incorporated, that kind of stuff. Well, if you look, and this is in the Out of Shadows documentary, there is some stuff in there that you would not want little kids to see. On Ariel's castle, there's a picture of a genitalia, and then on the Lion King, there is one spot where you get a lady in a bikini, which is definitely more tame, I'd say, than the genitalia, although it's a lot easier to spot. And then in Monsters Incorporated, there is there's a picture of some people going at it on the wall. The picture's on the wall, not them. And there's just all these things that you see, and it's definitely not good for kids to be seeing it. They're brainwashing our kids. But then, when you get older and you see the Avengers or something like that, I'm not saying the Avengers specifically, but and a good action film that people go out and see and stuff, and then it has mind control as part of the plot. And then you're like, oh, that's just sci-fi. That can't actually happen in real life. They are poisoning your brain by making you think that they can't poison your brain. And this happens in a lot of the things where they chalk something up to be just, oh, it can't happen, there's no way that this could happen, and yet it's happening right in front of you, and you can't really see it. And there was one really nice skit in the Out of Shadows documentary that I liked, and it was of a comedian, at least I think he was a comedian, I'm not 100% sure on that, don't quote me, but he said that you need to wake up, the American dream only works if you're asleep, or something to that effect. And I thought that really hit home, because that's really true. Not many people manage to go down the path of the American dream and actually succeed. And there have definitely been some few. I'm not saying that's impossible, but it's a lot less common. And that's what most people hold on to, at least in my opinion, is to the American dream, which is a dream. And yeah, I would definitely agree with what that person said, that it really only works if you are sleeping. So it's time to wake people up, and I guess now is the point where I get very close to ending this video, because I've gone on my rant, and I think I've made my point that we are moving towards a very bad place for us. Maybe not exactly communism, but it's definitely not a place that you'd want to be a part of. And so now is the time where I ask you that if you like this content and want to stay up to date, that you subscribe. and that you share this video, get it out to your friends if you liked it that much, and just make sure to get it out to where it needs to go. Leaving a like and a comment does a lot, even if you don't think that it will, and it only takes a couple seconds. And if you didn't like the video, just go ahead and give me your, just let me know in the comments, leave a dislike, and I will try to improve. I'm going to try and do my best to continue to improve and make these videos better for you guys and make better content. I think that about covers it. I don't know if there's anything else that I want to say, so I'm going to go ahead and open it up that if you guys have anything that you'd like me to cover, whether that's politically related or not, it doesn't really matter, to just put that in the comments. I'll go ahead and take a look, and I'll see what I can do. And I'm open to suggestions. This is a brand new channel, just started it out, so I honestly don't know how I'm going to just be able to keep on making content with political goofs, but you know, it might keep on going for a little while longer, but the hope is that eventually my channel becomes obsolete because we don't need to police the government because people actually start paying attention and it no longer becomes a necessary thing. With that, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the video here, guys. Have a good day and stay healthy.